Hi, my name is Miss Twiford, and I'm a junior at Iowa State University, and I'm gonna hopefully one day be teaching little kids like you guys. What are your guys' names, and what's your favorite thing to read?
Brandon and I like comic books,
Ooh, what kind of comic books?
like Spider-Man and Batman. Batman's my favorite.
My name is Tyler, and I like to read. I have Sports Illustrated for kids.
Okay, so more of a magazine than a book?
Yeah, magazine. I like
Okay.
magazines.
Well, when you're reading a book, have you ever noticed that sometimes they're told a little bit differently?
Yeah.
Do you know what that's called when it's told, like maybe from somebody else's, if somebody else is telling the story or the author is telling the story?
It's just when different people talk, isn't it?
Well, there's a specific name for it. It's actually called points of view. And there's actually 3 different kinds of points of view. Can you guys guess what the points of view are?
Well, there would be like a me point of view, like if I was telling the story, right?
Uh-huh, that's 1.
Then I can tell a story about him.
That's 2. There's 1 more. Do you think you guys can guess it?
I
don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, well, when you tell a story, there's 3, and it's actually called first person, second person, and third person point of view. Can you guess, when you said it was me, can you guess what one that is?
Would that be first?
What made you think that?
Because it's like me telling a story about me.
You're right. When the author is talking about themselves, that's called first person point of view, and there's a couple key words to look for. Those are like me, I, us, and our. He's including himself in the story. So I have an example here for you. You can't really read that, but he says, like, I shall never forget the first time I laid eyes on these now tired eyes. So he's talking about his eyes. That's what gave that clue away.
That's my last name.
It is.
Yeah.
Did you write this story?
I didn't.
No.
I don't know.
I have an aunt named Deborah.
Deborah.
Cool. Okay. Now can you guess what second person is? This one's the most difficult. Can you guess what second person point of view is?
Second. Would that be what I said, where I write a story about Tyler?
Not quite. Second person point of view, it's really kind of difficult to find. It's when the author includes you as the reader in the story. So it's the most rare. So he's talking about you and us, and we're all doing it together. And it actually took me a while to find a good example. So this one says, today we give thanks. We give thanks just like the pilgrims went with a big special meal. So we're all doing it together. We're in the story with them.
So he's like pretending that we're there.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay.
So now, Brandon, do you think you can guess what third person point of view is?
When I tell a story about Tyler.
You're right. What do you think some key words are before I give it away?
Him.
Him.
Yeah, because...
Can you think of a key word?
He?
You're right. Third person, these are the most common. That's usually told about a different person in a far off place or something completely made up. And some good ones are he, she, they, and them. They're talking about someone, and the author never talks about himself. He never mentions himself.
Okay.
And then this is an example. This is from Ladybug Girl. And it's talking about how she saw Miss Robinson carrying her groceries, and Ladybug Girl swooped in to save the day. So she is all talking about a girl not connected to the author. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys have any questions about the 3 different points of view?
Nope.
I think I'm okay.
Okay, so if I gave you an example, do you think you could pick out which point of view it would be?
I think so.
You think so? Okay. I'll move this closer to you. If you read this, which point of view do you think it is?
Today I tried to teach a spider how to dig. Spiders dig? First his legs got stuck, then...
That was in Roman, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But there's I too.
Which one do you think it is, Tyler?
Well, he talks about how he tried to teach a spider, but then he said then he started talking about how the spider dug. I think it's either first or third.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's first because he's kind of talking about how how he was there.
Yeah, it's a story about him. Well, he's talking about spiders, but he's talking about him too. So I think it's first two.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what I told you the author never does in third person?
Never says. Oh, he never says I.
You're right. So since he said I, he's talking about himself, right?
Oh, okay.
So that's the big clue to look for a first person if he's talking about himself. So this one would be in first person. Now, what about this one?
She deemed it most delicious.
He doesn't ever say I.
Mm-mm.
But I think it's the third.
Yeah, because she's talking about the writer is talking about somebody else. Yeah.
So you think it's third person?
Yeah, I think it's that.
Yeah.
You're right. Now what keywords gave that away?
Well, she
Yeah.
is one, and then they, is that right? Would that be
Mhm.
one?
Yep, they're talking about completely other people. Now what if I was going to make this difficult? What if you wanted to change this to a first person? How could you do that? Could you do that?
Could she?
Well,
As if she was telling the story.
Yes.
So could you just say? Could you take out she and put an I?
Yeah, so you would change the story so it'd be from her perspective. So it'd be, I deemed it the most delicious food I had ever tasted, right?
yeah.
So if we made it first person, who would be telling the story?
Me or the writer. What would they change they to though? Would that be like we?
Well, that would still say they because they're talking about the other ants. The she is the queen.
Okay. Oh,
So
yeah.
that would be, it'd be coming
Okay.
from her perspective, so that they would stay the same. It's a little bit tricky.
Okay. I just get confused with it.
That's okay. This is new. So what about this third example?
Your hair blows away from your face. You can lose your hat, and if the wind is blowing hard enough, you may even find it hard to walk, or you may even have to walk in a slant.
Would this be?
Well, has the your.
We already did the first and third one.
Using process of elimination. That's kind of cheating.
But the storyteller isn't in there,
No.
and they're kind of talking about us. So I think that's what she said. The second one was.
Yeah, I think it's number 2.
Second person.
Yeah.
And now why do you think it's that?
Because she's talking about my hair, and I'm not in the story, so it's like making me in.
She's
the
bringing you
story.
into the story? That's right. Okay. So you guys think you're comfortable picking out the 3 different points of view?
I think so.
Yeah.
Think so? Okay. Well, now we're going to write our own points of view. So I'm going to hand you these. And what I want you to do is, here's an example of mine. So I want you to first write, from the first point of view, I want you to write 2 sentences about yourself in first person point of view.
Okay.
What keywords do we need to include if it's first person point of view?
I.
Mm-hmm.
So you said 2 sentences, right?
2 sentences. Okay. When you're done writing the first person point of view, I want you to take those 2 sentences and write it in the next one in second point of view, second person point of view. So you're going to just change it so you include me as the reader in the story with you.
think I did that in the first one actually.
Mine's hard.
You can change the wording a little bit if you need to
Okay.
make it easier on yourself.